How's it going there, folks? Welcome back here to a Thursday, Friday, right around the corner tomorrow. It's about noon time here, California time, May 23rd, 2024. Latest activity here on the Earthquake 3D globe shows a 1.7 earthquake into the Alaska area. Looking at the last 24 hours of earthquake movement here on the globe, quite a bit of activity here opposite of me. As you can see on the map here, we'll go ahead and check that out in just a second. I want to chat about space weather activity here real quick, where we're watching a fairly large active region coming around the northeastern limb of the sun. I can see some magnetic arches there going on that latest imagery. Far as the magnetogram image goes, hard to tell. It may be a little area here that we're noticing from that far side sunspot that's just about ready to crest over here on the northeastern limb. I thought we'd get a better view of that today, but I guess not. Let me show you guys here the far side watch here from the JSOC image, the latest one. And this is the image. This one's kind of behind, so it looks like it may be about a day behind here. But we can still utilize the far side image here to get a good estimate of when this should peak around. And there's a giant sunspot here. Again, I think we're just barely seeing it on the magnetogram image. It's a lot bigger than just a little blip there. So we'll watch that here. I think maybe later today, later tonight, we'll see a little bit more perspective, or a better perspective of the sunspot. And of course, in the days ahead, we'll get a better view of exactly how large or complex this sunspot is. And that's going to be former sunspot 3663, which is now, of course, much closer here. 3664, the source of all the X-flare and CME activity here recently. And, of course, the Aurora events here a week or so ago, a couple weeks, is 3664. That will be visiting us. It looks like it's holding steady there in, looks like a week or so. So, for now, though, far as what we have on the Earth-facing side of the sun, quite a few sunspots out here. Really not super dynamic. We're looking at this region over here with the most potential. That has been a source here of a couple low-grade M flares here recently, but overall the flare threat is diminishing once this is out of sight, out of mind. And then, of course, we'll watch this active region up here. We'll see how complex it is. Hard to tell, with the far side imagery. Most of the time we'll look at some bright features or explosions or CMEs being produced over here prior to them cresting the area of interest, and we'll watch that. It does look like it's somewhat complex, but we'll get a better perspective of it here in the days ahead. Flaring overnight, a little bit of M flare activity, currently flaring with some C flare activity, but no X flare activity right now. Hopefully that will change in the days ahead. Overall threat shows 99% chance for C flare, M flare at 60, X flare around 10% chance or so. No major roars in the forecast for now. And I guess we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. It does look like there was some type of. Let me see if I can bring up the movie here. Looks like maybe some type of prominence eruption earlier. Yeah, kind of hard to tell. But Kevin's got something here on his YouTube page. Multiple eruptions on the sun. Looks like maybe some prominences there were blasted off. Well, this is a southwestern limb. But anyway, he's got a cool YouTube site as well if you want to check that out. He's got the link to it on his solarham.com page. All right, earthquake activity. What's going on out here? Again, as I mentioned, a little bit more active out here across the plate boundaries in the Indian Ocean. Quite a bit of fracturing going on out here in the fracture zones. 5.6 earlier this morning. And as you can see, a handful of those throughout the area in the last 24 hours. One earthquake here into the Iran region, one of the latest quakes in this area, 5.0, just off of the plate boundary. Things been kind of active over here, definitely more noticeable on the Earthquake 3D globe here, and more active than normal, I would say. in a broad region. So continue to watch this area. A lot of times these earthquakes, may be centered in one area, but this is more of a broad regional, larger scale event that's taken place out here. So definitely keep an eye on this area of the world here for some further movement. Quite a few force stirring up here in China, it looks like. The Atlantic Ocean, pretty quiet. There's some older movement from last night. They're down in the South Sandwich Trench. Far as, let's see what we've got, 2.3 coming into the Pacific Northwest right now, or an older quake. Let me check and see what this is. Oh, that was from just about 2 hours or so ago. Right around the Mount Rainier area, 2.3. Looks like that's just a couple miles from the summit area. Aside from that, really not a whole lot there in Northern California. Southern California, roughly about the same. Some very small microquake activity here along the creeping segment of the San Andreas Fault. And as you can see, Southern California, just some spotty activity out there today. Around the Long Valley supervolcano, really nothing within the caldera. This is just outside the area. A little bit of small microquake movement there from yesterday and today. The rest of the states out here look fairly quiet. Not a whole lot going on there. Let's double check Yellowstone National Park, see if anything's of interest. And it doesn't look like it. Things are pretty quiet out here across this region. Again, looks like most of the activity is stirred up out here across the Indian Ocean and areas around the Middle East region. Far as the Western Pacific goes out here, the last one, at least of decent size, was a 4.7 here into the Japan area. Aside from that, goodness, let's see what else we got. New Zealand is somewhere on the map. There we go. 3.4 and another 3.9. Another super deep earthquake there underneath the North Island area. This one, that's 16 kilometers. 3.4 is going to be 234 kilometers deep there. Looks like that's just off the North Island coast, but underneath this region. So we've still been seeing a lot of deep activity here. Got to watch this region pretty closely with all this deep movement here. Let's see. So there's the activity up into the Japan and the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench. 4.7 here along the Aleutian Trench, it looks like, earlier this morning. About 3 o'clock this morning or so. We'll see how it plays out. It's been a little while since I've seen any elevated, broader scale activity out here. So we'll see where this is leading to. It is a quite a bit of fracture boundaries out there, divergent zones. The general stress here, when we see things kick up like that, could go either way. I notice these arrows here pointing away from each other, but the general stress will put further movement up north, it looks like, in terms of the arrows and the general plate stress area. So we'll watch this region here around Nepal and the Himalaya area. Could see some further movement. This area down across the Andaman Sea and the Java Trench has been somewhat quiet, so this might be a large-scale area to watch here for some further movement following all this activity out here in the oceanic fracture zones. All right, let's check out the. Well, let's see what we got for Hawaii. I mean, it's so quiet out here now. Still got some accumulation of magma going on, obviously below the summit area. Let's go ahead and check out the latest update here from the USGS. See what's going on. This was put out yesterday, so really no new update, but we'll check out the data here real quick. The deformation data on the inflation chart continues to rise here at a steady pace. Look at that. Nice and steady. And that's following that similar trend to what we've been seeing here over the past months and literally over the past couple years or so. We are at the highest level seen at the summit area since the 2018 eruption. So things are, the last time we were like this was back in February, but we're above that level right now. This is the GPS Global Positioning System of tilt or inflation. And here's that February displacement. We are at an all-time high. Huge magma displacement here. We dropped a lot from the summit off to the southwest rift zone, and that's kind of down there, I feel, further south. since then, we've been building up. And again, we're at our highest level at the summit since 2018 and higher than the one that caused that displacement of magma back in February. So just a waiting game to see what happens here, I suppose. Same for Iceland. A little bit of earthquake activity down here today across the Grindavik area and the craters region. We'll pull up all these little baby tiny earthquakes as well, super small ones. General area of interest here is going to be south of our most recent eruption region, I feel, anyway. Just looking at this earthquake activity. Let's see what we got for any updates going on here today. No new update from the Icelandic Met Office, so things are just steady. Similar to Hawaii, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens here. All right, Storm Prediction Center, far as severe weather goes, we got more severe weather to deal with out here across Nebraska, portions of Iowa as well. This region, man, they just can't get a break. Got a pretty good threat, large area for tornado possibility out here in the 5% zone, also the 2% zone as well. The main overall threat looks like it's going to be some large hail and also some damaging straight line winds. And some of those winds could get way up there. And they could do sometimes just as much damage on a broader scale, similar to what we've seen down in Houston, Texas there a few days ago. So heads up, stay weather aware out here today. Tomorrow's outlook as we head into Friday, that whole system shifts further to the east and brings with it a large threat for mostly wind and hail threats as well. They may upgrade this. We'll have to watch it. They've been kind of lenient the day before, and then they'll throw up more of a severe threat the day of. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Aside from that, folks, that's all I got here for today. Again, it's quite windy out there. Really haven't had any power issues, but if the stream does go down, I'll try to get it up. And just kind of focusing in on some stuff I got to do today here around the house. But man, there's a lot of static in the air. Everything that I'm touching metal-wise, I get shocked, even outside. I go to give my dog a little massage on his fur, and I can feel the static in his hairs, in the dog hair, in the fur, and it's crazy. Super low dew points. I'm not for sure what we got for dew points right now, but man, is it dry. I'm feeling it. Humidity at 29, dew point at 39 degrees. So there has been lower, but that's awfully low for this. So at least this area. Just have to deal with it. Gotta drink plenty of water out here, I suppose, and some chapstick. All right, I think that's about it, folks. We'll just watch things here today, see what happens following all this movement out here. And we'll catch you guys back out here a little bit later on this evening. Stay safe out there.